Hi, this is Danny from Mysterious Things Tarot, where first we tell you about a mystery and then we try to solve the mystery through tarot. Today's subject is a very sensitive and heart-wrenching and timely one. And before I start, I want to assure the friends and family of our missing person that we do this with the utmost respect and sincerity, hoping to shed light on this issue. If at any time the family feels I've overstepped my bounds of appropriateness, I will immediately take this video down. Today we will see what the cards have to say about Tatum Morell, a 23-year-old student and experienced hiker who is currently missing in the Beartooth Mountains of southern Montana. Early in the morning of July 1st, 2021, Tatum Morell, an engineering grad student at Montana State University in Bozeman, hoisted her backpack with her tent onto her shoulders, and she stepped out onto the West Fork of Trailhead No. 1, located in the Beartooth Mountains of south central Montana near the Wyoming border. It was the last time she was seen. The Beartooth Mountains are wild wilderness. Not many people go there, but it was Tatum's personal adventure challenge to hike to the top of 5 of the 27 mountains in that Beartooth region that are over 12,000 feet in elevation. And she wanted to do it in 5 days. 5 mountains, 5 days. That's pretty ambitious. She wanted to do Whitetail Peak, Castle Peak, Bowback Mountain, Sundance, and Beartooth Mountains. Although these mountains were high in elevation, none of the trails that she planned to hike were so difficult that one would need climbing equipment. Most of them could be accessed with a Class 2 or in some parts a Class 3 level climb. So for those of you who are not hikers, let me explain, or climbers, let me explain the climbing system. So Class 1 is like an easy hike with minimal elevation gain, a few obstacles here and there, but pretty much an easy day hike. A Class 2 is a little bit more difficult. Some of it might be off trail or might have to put your hands down at times to keep your balance. Not too hard. Class 3, you're going to be scrambling some, but you're not roped up. You just maybe over loose gravel, things like that. Class 4, you're climbing with a rope. You need to be tied up or you might fall. Class 5 is very technical climbing. So those are your 5 classes. And remember, the classes of trails that she was hiking were 2s and 3s. So they would have been challenging, but easily doable climb for Tatum. And she should have been able to get to the top of these peaks with minimal effort or danger. And Tatum had prepared for these hikes, and she had a lifetime of backcountry trips and adventures with her family, and she went by herself also. And although this expedition was her first trip into the Beartooth Mountains, she was an avid hiker with experience in that type of terrain, and she'd previously completed a similar trip in Gallatin County. There, she also climbed 5 peaks in 5 days. And those peaks were a little bit lower in elevation, but still 5 peaks in 5 days. So although she decided to hike alone, she didn't come unprepared for an emergency. She did decide to take a satellite phone with her to allow her to radio help if she got in trouble or lost or hurt, and to contact her parents, which she did that night at 8 o'clock from her tent. and her tent was pitched at Shadow Lake. So no one knows if Tatum made more than one trip back and forth to her campsite, or if she made it to the top of any of the mountains. She wasn't checking in with anyone during that time, and she wasn't seen by any other hikers. But when Tatum didn't leave the wilderness on July 5th, as she'd promised, and they couldn't reach her satellite phone, her family alerted the sheriff's office, and a search began. The searchers immediately found Tatum's tent, as she'd left it on the banks of Shadow Lake. She had taken her red jacket and a blue day pack and her satellite phone, and it looked like she probably assumed that she would hike to the top of one of the mountains and be back before dark. But Tatum never made it back. So let's talk a little bit about the satellite phone that she had. With it is you can send and receive messages, you can navigate your route and track it and share your journey with others. And if necessary, that you can trigger an SOS system to get help. There's also a way that if it's turned on, it will look for a signal and will ping every 10 minutes or so. So she had that with her. But Tatum never called for help, and her device was never pinged. So either it malfunctioned, or it was turned off, or the batteries were dead. So rescuers have been searching extensively since July 5th for Tatum. Mountain rescue teams, search dog teams, ground search teams, they put in hundreds of hours into searching the area. They searched all possible routes, mountain peaks, ridges, as well as the area around her tent. In addition to the ground and the air searching, the rescuers used multiple high-resolution visual and infrared cameras, and they tried cell phone tracking. They've combed that area surrounding the mountains, navigating the treacherous terrain. They've gone through rock fields that have car-sized boulders in them, scree fields, and snow fields. But there's been no sign of Tatum. And although lately the search has been drastically cut back, there are still people out there searching for Tatum. Tatum, where are you? So the beautiful missing climber has brown hair and brown eyes, and she might have been wearing a red jacket and carrying a blue day pack. And if anyone's seen Tatum, or if you saw her on the trail, or have any information that could help locate her, and you haven't yet contacted the sheriff, the phone number is listed below. So now I'm going to ask the cards if they can bring any light to this situation. Okay, so here we are. Today I'm going to be using the Wildwood Tarot by Mark Ryan and John Matthews. I use these when I do readings for people who are outdoors or hunters, that type of thing. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to look for a card that I want to represent Tatum. Here it is, the Wanderer. I think that's very representative of her, a young person wandering into the wilderness. Okay. Divine Spirit, I respectfully ask you to help me find Tatum Morell. Let's find Tatum. Where is she? I'm going to draw 3 cards. Oop, that one wanted to come out. 3 cards. before the event. That one wanted to come out. 3 cards. There's another one. About the event itself. And then 3 cards on the aftermath. These wanted to come out, so I'm going to put these together in the event because they wanted to come out together, and then I'll do the last 3 about the aftermath of the event. Sometimes the cards have a mind of their own. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's take a look. So before the event, we have a person who's very well educated and interested in everything, curious, outdoorsy, fun to be with, and she had a lot of endurance. She had practiced for this. King of Stones, a wolf. Although she was practiced, it looks like maybe the elements weren't with her that day. This is before the event. So she's excited, she's practiced. There's something else that was going on with her. Might have been emotional. She wanted to get away by herself a little bit. The day of the event, the pole star. I'd say this indicates direction. So if we're going to look for Tatum, I would say look to the north of her campground, of her tent. She did fall. It looks like she fell in the stones. This is celebration, but I think that she was thinking about her friends and her family. She thought about how powerful she was to get out of the situation where she was. And she respected the elements, but I think that it was too much for her. The fall was too much. She couldn't communicate. She was thinking of her family, and that's what happened. But definitely there was a fall in some stones and north of her campsite. After the event, you can see there she is, not happy. She had a lot of life left to live. It was an accident. Here's the breath of life. She had more to do. It was definitely an accident. There was nothing intentional about it. There was no predator. There was just herself. And her disappointment in leaving behind her family, her friends, her life, and the things that she had planned for herself. That's sad. Let me pull a few more cards just to see if we can clarify anything else. It says she's to the north of her campsite, I would say to the north. So this one wants to come out. Fulfillment. She did make it to the top of at least one mountain. So and here is ecstasy. She made it to the top. She was thrilled. She must have fallen on the way down. Or possibly taken the wrong path down. Not exactly the same path that she went up. Let's see what this one. 3 of arrows, yeah. Again, she fell. She was hurt on the stones. You can see the blood on the stones and the so I would say look around boulders, stones, crevices north of her campsite, maybe near the top, because she did say she fulfilled her. Okay, one more something out, and the adder. Well, it's a very complicated and hard place to get to. Okay. Okay, not the best of news. Can we look for a time frame on when we can find Tatum? When can we? Is there 1, 2 weeks, month? Can you give me a season on when we'll find Tatum? When will Tatum be found? Or will Tatum be found? Oh, there. Ow! Something jumped out. Ace of Bows, Spark of Life. Spark of Life. I would say that's fire. Is it possible that during they're having a lot of fires up there in that area in Montana, that during this fire season they will find her? Possibility. I can't think what else it would be. When will we find Tatum? Yeah, the cards are done. No more. Okay, that's the reading. So what do you think happened to Tatum? Did she slip and fall? Did she leave the area with someone she met? Was there foul play? Was she the victim of a predator, or human or animal? You can leave your comments below about what you think happened, as long as your comments are polite and respectful. Anything other than that will be deleted. And while you're about that, please like and share and subscribe to my channel. And of course, click the bell for notifications for my next video. See you soon. Bye-bye.